Thanks for listening to Leadership Level Up. I'm Brian Prairie.
And I'm Dr. Jeff Williamson.
I am just starting my leadership journey.
And I've been guiding leaders for 30 years.
Our podcast aims to shine a spotlight on outstanding leaders and provide a platform for them to describe their leadership journey and share the guiding principles that have helped them become great leaders. On today's episode of Leadership Level Up, Kent Wade discusses the events of his life that have led him to become the leader he is today, the importance of an adaptable mindset, and explains how to implement these concepts in daily life.
Welcome to Leadership Level Up podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Williamson, and we have a return visit with us from our friend Kent Wade. And he is a man of many talents. He's known locally as the library guy, and we talked about that in the past. But I really want to talk to him some today about his leadership journey and some of the ways he's growing as a leader and the way that maybe he could give you some ideas on your own leadership journey. So, Kent, thanks for coming back and joining us for another episode.
Man, I'm glad to be back. That lets me know I didn't do anything wrong last time. So I'm proud and happy to be back.
You did not get cut. No, not at all. So, again, talking about leadership, we're all about leadership. That's our theme for this podcast. So with the journey that you shared with us in the previous episode, you have experience in customer service, and you worked in the community library, and you have a speaking career now. You're in insurance. You're just doing a lot of different things. And so when you think about all of those multiple streams that you're really working on, how do you stay sharp as a leader? What are some ways that you can hone your own leadership skills?
Well, personally, I really believe leadership, it's almost like washing up, taking a shower. It's a daily thing that you have to dip yourself into.
Okay.
Because as a leader, your mind is constantly going. It's constantly building. You're a visionary. You're a confidant. You're an ear. You're a powerhouse. You're a motivator. You're an inspiration. And then you still have your own internal things that you battle with. And so a few things that I do for me, and I've learned this from my coaches. I have mentors, I have coaches. And one of my coaches basically told me, look, you got to have a routine. What is your routine? How are you waking up in the morning with your routine? So when you start your day, are you
What's
step
your
2,
process?
Step 3, step 3A, 3B? What's the process? A lot of people we'll wake up and we're just going. We're going off the energy that we have or the energy we don't have. And when you're a leader, there really is no off time. There is really no downtime. There's always something that needs to be done, something needs to be moved. And so in the morning for me, again, last time we met, we talked about foundation. For me, the foundation begins, got to give a prayer. Got to talk to God. Got to talk to the ancestors. I have to talk to my mom, my mother's. My mother-in-law passed away last year. So I have to talk to them to just give me that energy that you had. Like, give me that comfort, that mother comfort.
Yeah.
And so once I get that done, podcast, a YouTube video, something of some substance of leadership building, whether it's about procrastination, whether it's about overcoming obstacles. Maybe I need to watch a video today to just remind me of how awesome I am.
This is who you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need people to say that to us. This is you. This is you at your best. This is who you are.
You are the best thing smoking. You're the best version you are.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it. So act like it. Like
Yeah.
that reminder. And so that's how I start the morning. And other components to help polish that leadership is you got to get around other leaders. You got to get around sharper knives. You got to get around some swords or some Ginsu blades. You got to get around people that's going to make you better. And so on this financial service journey, and again, my goal is to learn mutual funds and learn these different elements of financial services that I didn't know growing up, that for years that I struggled with because of the lack of information and access. I want to bring that to people. At the same time, I got to learn. And so by learning, I'm with a company and a group that they work with us twice a week, where our leader, who makes millions of dollars, who goes on trips, who is speaking on stages across the country, she makes herself available for us for an hour, and she pours into us.
Right.
I mean, she
building
really,
you up.
She builds us up. She has her t-shirt on, or she
Yeah.
has a hoodie on.
Yeah.
And she's in Chicago, so we do a lot of Zooms. But in her conversation, she's breaking down real conversation. Like we just had a meeting yesterday. Today's Wednesday. We had a Zoom yesterday. She broke down how sometimes we allow the things that hurt us, we displace our frustration and we get lost. And she shared her experience with her mother being on drugs.
Oh, okay.
How that made her feel. We're the
Right.
we're same age. She's actually a few months older than me. Well, other way around, because she's 36, she's 35, she'll be 36 this month. And she talked about that experience and how it made her want to become the best at what she could be, because she never wanted her children to experience what she experienced. She wanted to see her mother and father be clean. And so she says, I'm going to be the best that I could be. But she fell into a vortex of wanting to be perfect.
Yeah.
But still having that emotional trauma.
Sure.
Someone who's making who made $1.5 million last year.
Yeah.
Who takes out the time twice a week, bearing her energy.
Yeah.
She's doing what I do professionally.
Right.
She's bearing her. So for me as a leader to see another leader.
Right. It elevates everybody.
It elevates everyone.
Yeah.
It puts us at the same level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of leaders, we don't bring ourselves into spaces to make ourselves vulnerable.
Right.
Sometimes we want to stay here with our chest up and our neck, our chin up, which isn't a bad thing, but you got to replenish that.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone sharper, and then vice versa. We have to, as leaders, to share our stories with other leaders, maybe young and up and coming leaders.
Yeah.
Because then you're reminded of the journey that you had going back up. So podcasts, YouTube videos. I listen to Eric Thomas. For those who are watching, Ben Lionel Scott is a person that I follow on YouTube.
Okay.
He does compilations of different speakers, but then he also ties in people working out, athletes doing different things. So
just
it's kind of
excellence.
Just
in
excellence.
all areas. Yeah.
Excellence all the way. And then the last component is shout out Chris Calmese from the Department of Fitness and Health out here in Bradley, Bourbonnais area. He challenged me to stretch and drink more water.
Oh, okay. That's doable.
That alone.
It's not easy, but it's doable.
It's
right?
definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Definitely easy. But it's doable. And what happens is it allows your body to loosen up. It allows the water to replenish you. Because sometimes we're running. We're grabbing a bite to eat.
Not always taking care of ourselves.
We're not taking care of ourselves. And it's like a car. And so those are just a few things that help me polish off that leadership energy.
Yeah. And I liked as you were talking about that, the example of the lady who's doing the mentoring and
shout out Coach
speaking.
Mika. I got to give her love.
She's speaking into other people. Is that I think sometimes early on in the journey as leaders, we can think, oh, I've got my supply and there's only so much. And you were talking about opening ourselves up and being an influencer or an impact on other people. The thing that is beautiful when we figure out is like what I think is my supply.
Yes.
It's not all there is.
Right.
And when we open up and we share that with other people and allow them to elevate, allow them to grow, that fills our bucket.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Dr. Don Clifton, who created the StrengthsFinder assessment many years ago, he used to tell a story about the theory of the dipper in the bucket. And the end of it was, he said, the only way you can fill your bucket is filling up other people's buckets. And that's what you're that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
She's giving of her knowledge and her time and her investment to elevate everybody. Yeah. But she's blessed and grows from that too. Exactly. Or she wouldn't be doing it.
No. She wouldn't be doing it.
No.
You know, and she'll go to Greg Cardone events or Eric Thomas. Wow. I love Eric Thomas. She'll go to these events for her own leadership development. Right. And she'll bring the gems she got there. She'll bring them right back to the team. Yeah. Excuse me. And so that's an example of in motion filling your own bucket and then taking that overflow and going to pour into somebody else's. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so as we do that for other people, we're often able to maybe even fill a void that they have presently, or to show them how they can fill that void themselves with their own blessings, with their own gifts and strengths and those kinds of things. So as you work with people and you work with young adults and try to invest and grow in them like this, what are some areas you say, man, this and this is especially a key need in young leaders they're growing and developing? Speak to that a little bit, to say, hey, leader out there who's hearing this conversation, what can I do to help, or what can I fill? What gap can I fill? What are some of those that you see to say, man, if we could really help young leaders grow in this area, this has been a void that I've observed?
Man, it's a couple voids. And I really believe it's more of a generational gap.
Okay.
Because I'm experiencing myself. I'm 36. I got a 16-year-old. We're two different generations. He'll say some stuff and I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, Dad, you're getting old. And I'm like, I'm not old. And then I hear somebody in their 50s or 40s say something, and I'd be like, man, how you sound old. And it's like,
it's an old idea.
It's an old idea.
Yeah.
And so I would say two voids, big major voids, I would say, is access. Young leaders need access. When you have access
other leaders, to a variety of things.
To a variety of things. They need access to other leaders, resources, information. Seeing that we have young leaders in Kankakee County. Kankakee County in itself is a powerhouse. It's built off the ancestry of the powerhouse of what Kankakee County used to be. So with that being said, when we don't understand and realize the power that we have as a county, and we operate in divisions of Kankakee, Bradley, Bourbonnais, Momence, Mantino,
kind of undercut each other rather than
undercut
growing.
each other. We now have taken a pie and have turned it into one of those assortment pies. Where again, we want variety,
right?
But we're taking our pieces and we're going other directions,
taking it off somewhere else. Even sometimes
we're not bringing it together. And then
that's true.
Then we forget the maximizing of this powerhouse is that we're only an hour away from Chicago. And that's just getting to the south side. Hour and 10, 15, maybe no traffic if you want to get downtown. We have access to resources, information. When I was going through one of my courses, Clubhouse was an awesome resource for me in 2020 to just step outside my comfort zone. And as I'm listening to this publicist, okay, and she's explaining to us as young Black professionals what we need to do to build our brands to compete in a global, not United States, but a global. Again, taking our thinking away from, okay, we're in America, we got to fight
narrow.
That's too narrow. We're globally, we're global. As humans, we're global. And so she challenged me because I asked her, I said, man, I'm ready to build my brand. I've been telling my story. I'm in my community. I've been involved. I was like, what do I need to do next? And she's like, well, what's the next major city to you? And I was like, well, I'm an hour from Chicago. She said, stop. You're an hour away from Chicago? Chicago is one of the major cities in the world.
It is,
You need to.
Right here.
And then she just gave me the blueprint.
Yeah.
She gave me some names. She gave me resources. She gave me people to connect with, people that I became friends with. Opportunities that I tried, didn't like it. But
you tried it.
But I tried it. And so having that access allows opportunity. It allows someone to say, you know what? Nah, I don't like this. Oh, you know what? I love it.
And if you don't try it, you won't find out which is which.
You won't find. And so that's why I give Steve Bertrand his flowers, because I didn't think I would like being in the library. Once I got into the library world, saw what it was and what it meant. Okay, this is social work with books, with literacy.
It's been a big part of your life.
This is so my goal is to become a librarian. And so, having that access is pivotal. And I would say the second void is that I want to say healing. Healing is a huge piece. It is very hard to be a leader when you don't manage the hurt that you experience in your leadership journey. It will come from those you're looking to help and assist and serve. Servitude doesn't mean it's always feel good and you're treated, people are going to appreciate it. There are going to be people who disrespect and belittle the time, the energy, and the commitment that you've given. And it will hurt you. And having healthy ways to deal with that hurt, having access to reliable counselors across the board, therapists,
Right.
all walks of life, because equity means to give someone what they need. You might need something different than I need.
Yeah.
And so having that outlet to heal differently is pivotal, because
Yeah.
as a leader, when you carry hurt and pain and damage, we've seen
You'll
throughout
pass it
history
on.
what
We'll
has
pass it.
happened with
Yeah.
leaders who've had hurt,
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah.
and damage. And look at any of our favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah.
The villain usually had a moment where they
That's
were hurt,
a point of pain. They
a
were
point
hurt
of
or
pain
wounded. Yeah.
that they never got a chance to heal from.
Yeah.
While they're seeing another leader be sworn with energies
Mm-hmm.
and protection and resources and
Yeah.
access,
then
and not know the story of that other leader.
Yeah.
That other leader's hurting too.
Yeah.
But when you don't share those
Mhm.
avenues of healing,
Yeah.
hurt leaders developed hurt leaders.
Yeah. That's very true. Well, that's a great entree into one more question I want to ask you before we conclude. Is that, obviously you're a forward-thinking guy, you're an ambitious guy, and so looking ahead, what are some goals that you have for Kent Way? What are some things on your list of next I want to, and then after that I want to? What would be 2 or 3 steps for Kent Way to say,
Man. 2 or 3 steps.
here's some goals that I have for the future?
Yeah. Well, I would say the most immediate goal is I'm working on my next promotion within the financial service industry.
Okay.
It's where I really can shake my fear.
Okay.
And help people shake their fear.
Right.
And
that's
so
that education piece too.
It's a huge
part of it. Yeah.
And for me, that's what really got me into it.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of a reality check that I don't understand money. That's one of the reasons why I stepped into the realm to learn more. And then once I started learning more, I realized I know a lot of people who don't know this information.
And I can do this.
But I could do this. Like,
Yes.
because and as a library guy,
Mm-hmm.
my duty is to help people shake the fear of success personally and professionally
Yeah.
by empowering them with resources.
Yeah. I love
And,
that.
and it comes in all shapes and forms.
Yeah.
So that promotion is up next. We're looking to move. We're looking for, a bigger place to live. And so
Okay.
along that lines means some career shifts.
Okay.
My wife is ready to shift her career.
Okay.
And so the goal is to
New chapters.
new
man.
chapters.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this year was a new chapter after losing my mother-in-law. And so
Mhm.
my wife changed her passion and her career exploded in some other areas. And so she wants to jump full feet in. And so I'm ready to tackle larger issues with
Mhm.
youth empowerment
Okay.
throughout our city, without our
Okay.
county. I would also say by the end of next year, my goal is to have a securities license to start doing the
Terrific.
mutual funds.
Yeah.
I am rebranding the
Okay.
library guy,
Okay.
public speaking company. And
Okay.
so
Cool.
just to widen my reach, to polish off the professional resume.
Yeah.
I have a few curriculums that I'm creating
Okay.
in customer service.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
want
that's a good
to
one.
teach customer service. I want to go to businesses,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with this new era
Yeah.
of post 2020.
Right. Right.
Customer service is an art
It's different.
that is different now. And the younger generation, I don't believe there has been enough time to train them
Mm-hmm.
or teach them and show
Mhm.
them how impactful customer service is,
Yeah.
like it was for my generation.
Yeah.
We had the paper applications. You had to turn it in.
Mhm.
You had to, can I speak to the manager?
Yeah. so
Now
different.
everything is virtual. Everything is kind of like, we need workers. So let's
Yeah.
bring them in.
Yeah.
Can you pass this test? Oh, we're in.
Mhm.
And I want to bring back the art of customer service. And so I have a couple curriculums that I'm working on for that.
Terrific.
Curriculums that I do plan on releasing to get into the school districts, working with
Okay.
young adults,
I like it.
particularly the ones that are having behavioral issues, attendance issues, those who are borderline to dropping out, and then working with the GED population to give them somebody that they can have as a resource. And so those are the few things.
Yeah,
nuggets
just a few.
Just a few.
I think I counted 6, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, something like that.
And a podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast will be with my wife.
Yeah.
Because
there we go.
me and
There
my
we
best
go.
friend want to do a
That's-
podcast.
That's the cherry on the Sunday.
That's the cherry on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And so there's quite a few other things.
Yeah.
My oldest graduates in 2025. So
Yeah.
we got a tight window, and I'll be 40 in 4 years. So I want to retire from working for someone else.
Doing full focus on your journey.
Full focus servitude.
Yeah.
My way.
Yeah. I like that. Well, thanks so much for coming in and joining
Man,
us.
I appreciate it.
Our
man.
community's better with you in it, man. I believe that.
I
So
receive it.
thanks so much.
I receive it. Our community is better with you as well, and
Thanks.
your team. Just having a great, I would like to say, a great team of people who want to put out content that uplifts and it empowers what we have here.
Yeah.
Because Kankakee County has gems.
Yeah.
And they're only going to shine if we polish them and then we hold them up. So thank you guys for doing this.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's real.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Leadership Level Up. Please subscribe so you don't miss future conversations with great leaders.
Also, be sure to follow Converge on LinkedIn, Facebook, and at Converge Group LLC on Instagram.